Hey guys, this is E10 Sun from SunBros. Today I'm really excited to be bringing you guys this brand new video. But before we get started with that, I want to make sure I remind you guys on how to get entered in for a chance to win our guaranteed skin giveaways that we do every Sunday night during our 1-hour question and answer live stream. All you gotta do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and comment below with your in-game name and which skin you'd like to receive on either the NA or EU servers under 700 vouchers. And remember, the more videos that you do this with that are uploaded each week, the higher chance you have to win. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started making a Lubu build. We're going to start as we always do on the hero page so that we can best see what makes Lubu tick, what makes him who he is, and how we need to best build him in order to take advantage of his strengths while minimizing his weaknesses. Alright guys, let's start with his passive, Martial Master. Impale's cooldown is reduced by 1 second whenever Lubu hits a target with an ability or a normal attack. Impale would be his second ability. His first ability is Red Stallion. Lubu lunges forward, dealing damage to enemies in his path. Lubu will stop immediately if he hits an enemy hero. This ability can be used 3 times in a row, with a third cast knocking enemies into the air. Impale is the second ability. That's the one that can have the cooldown reduced by normal attacks or abilities. Lubu launches a massive dark energy in the specified direction, dealing physical damage and reducing enemies' movement speed by 50%. For 2 seconds. The cooldown already naturally gets down to 7 seconds at level 6. The cooldown for first ability Red Stallion is also 7 seconds at level 6. And then the ultimate Conquer starts off at 30 seconds, and that's where it stays. Lubu powers up, boosting his attack damage by 80, lifesteal by flat amount plus boosted by his attack damage, and resistance by 20% for 8 seconds. Okay, so the HP regen goes up substantially to 240, plus it builds on AD, and the attack damage increase goes up also. Alright, so let's go to the equipment page and see what it is that we want to do to make Lubu the best Lubu he can be. So we're going to be building Lubu a couple different ways. We're going to start off by building him in the jungle, and we're going to kind of give you guys a lane Lubu build to build off of that. Alright, so jungle item is going to be Soul Reaver, and the reason why is because we want to be able to take advantage of the attack speed from Soul Reaver at 35%, and you get some nice lifesteal, which obviously will work really, both of those things will work really well with his ultimate, as well as cooldown reduction at 10%. I mean, all of those things are really kind of standard stats that Lubu needs. We want to get the cooldown reduction down so we can spam his abilities as much as we want, especially the ultimate, which is going to give us the big attack damage boost, as well as the lifesteal boost and the resistance boost. And then we want, of course, to be able to, we'll get some attack damage out of this. The base stats are really what we're doing this for. Next, we're going to be going boots. We're going to go Gilded Greaves. The reason we're going Gilded Greaves is because, as I'm going to show you here, his ultimate, remember, gives 20% resistance for 8 seconds. And we're going to want to, that doesn't increase, but we're going to want to put that with boots so that the boots give us 35% resistance. Remember, resistance is what gives us the ability to lower the amount of crowd control effects on a slow, stuns, knockbacks, all that stuff. If it were to last, for example, 1 second, it would go down to lasting only 0.65 seconds. Now we throw that in with the boots, or with his ultimate, and while he's ulted, it's only going to last 0.45 seconds, because that's going to give us a total of 55% resistance. Alright, and the next item we're going to be going is our first main attack item, and that's going to be to give him some armor pierce with Spear and Longinus. Spear and Longinus gives us 80 attack damage, 15% cooldown for a total of 25% so far, and 150 armor. So it's going to make us a little bit damagey, a little bit tanky with some armor, but it's going to give us a 25% cooldown reduction by item level 3, which is really good. And then it's going to, of course, give us an awesome passive, which decreases target armor by 50 on hit for 5 seconds. And it stacks up to 5 times. So the reason why this is such a great item on Lubu as opposed to maybe Rank Breaker, which gives us 100 to start off plus 10 per level, is because Lubu actually will do a good job of building them really easily because of his first ability. Remember, his first ability can be casted up to 3 times, and every time that does damage, every time you hit somebody with that, it's going to do a stack of the Spear Longinus passive shatter. And then of course, every time you do damage with a normal attack or an ability, your cooldown on Impale goes down by 1 second. So you can actually spam Impale also. And of course, we're going to be building some attack speed on Lubu. So between all of those things combined, Lubu is going to be able to stack the 5 stacks of Shatter to give him 250 armor pierce very, very quickly. Alright, next we're going to be headed towards our first tank item, and that's going to be an item that works perfectly with Lubu, Frost Cape. We get 10% more cooldown reduction, giving us a total of 35% so far. We get more armor and HP to make us a little bit more tanky, but the passive is exceptional on Lubu, and because his abilities are going to be coming back so quickly on him, so with the passive Frost Power is, after using an ability, the next normal attack reduces movement speed by 30% and deals 150 physical damage, plus 20 additional damage for each level gained to an area. So it's an AoE around the person you're hitting, and it has a 3-second cooldown. So realistically, he's going to be able to cast his abilities faster than every 3 seconds. He can cast one ability 3 times concurrently, and Impale will be able to be casted very often. At this point, we have 35% cooldown reduction. Impale gets down to 7 seconds cooldown at level 7, which is going to give us, you know, a sub 5-second cooldown on Impale. And then of course the passive brings it down by 1 second every time we do damage. So Impale is going to be able to get casted very, very frequently, but this is going to be able to be really solid to keep proccing that Frost Cape. It's a very good item on him. Next, we're going to be headed to back to the damage section as we get him some more lifesteal and some more attack speed. So 60 attack damage to start off, 30% attack speed, 10% lifesteal. Base stats that all work very well with Lubu. Now what we're getting here is a little bit more attack damage, which is going to help with Lubu's ability damage, but we're getting attack speed and lifesteal so that we can best take advantage of Lubu's ultimate, which gives us that crazy increase in the natural increase in attack damage, as well as the really sick lifesteal we're going to get from it. So at this point we have 10% lifesteal from Soul Reaver, we have 10% lifesteal from Fafnir's, giving us 20% plus what we're getting from his ultimate. So when his ult is going off, his lifesteal percentage is going to be really, really solid. But we're also going to be getting, of course, the passive, a Dragon's Breath. Normal attacks deal additional damage equal to 8% of the target's current HP. So now we're sealing life like crazy, and we're also going to be doing 8% of the target's damage. So our attack speed is going to be a real thing, and the damage with it is going to be pretty solid also. So again, this is one of those situations where kind of everything about this item matches up with what Lubu does well. Last but certainly not least, we're headed back to the defensive section where we're going to be getting an item that I think works really well on him. That's the Medallion of Troy. We are going to be capping him off at 45%. Of course, the cap for cooldown reduction is only 40%. This takes us a little bit above that at 45%. Not a big deal, because the rest of the stats on the item are really good. We're going to be getting magic defense. We're going to be getting HP, and of course the passive, which grants us a shield that absorbs a pretty good amount of damage every 18 seconds. This is going to work very well in a fight, whether it's 1v1 or a team fight. Whenever Lubu procs the shield, when he's even remotely low on health, he's going to be able to get the shield up, and his lifesteal and his ultimate is so good with the lifesteal we get from Soul Reaver and Fafnir's that Lubu is going to be able to heal himself back up to full, making him very, very, very difficult to kill. And now we have a baseline set of tankiness, an incredible amount of damage, and of course armor pierce from our, not just only our item there with Spirit Longinus, but we're also going to obviously build some armor pierce on his Arcana. Alright guys, and on to our second build that we promised you. This is the laning build. We're going to be going with Spirit Longinus first for the same reasons that we just discussed on the jungle build. You get all the really nice stats he needs: cooldown reduction, armor, attack damage, and of course the passive Shatter. The Gilded Greaves still come into play. We get that 35% resistance to go along with a 20% from his ultimate Conquer to give us a total of 55% resistance to crowd control when his ultimate is going on. Frost Cape still good, 10% cooldown, armor, health, and of course the passive Frost Power, which is going to go off very frequently with Lubu, who's able to cast his abilities. Fafnir's Talent still good. We need that attack speed and lifesteal to help promote the power of that ultimate. and then we're going to be going in a little bit of a different direction at the end here now. So what we swapped out obviously is Soul Reaver, and what we're replacing Soul Reaver with is Hercules Madness. It's some damage, a lot more tankiness with 180 armor, 150 attack, magic defense, but it gives us the shield that we just discussed on having with the other defensive item, of course, Medallion of Troy. We're going to be getting that with Hercules Madness now, but at a very particular time. We're going to get attack damage and a shield whenever our HP falls below 40%. Now that is going to work really well with that passive, or the ultimate rather, that's going to give us all that crazy amount of lifesteal. And that is one of the reasons why I'm really loving Hercules Madness on Lu Bu, where I don't necessarily like it on a lot of heroes. It's actually going to work spectacularly with him, and I'm really looking forward to it. 90-second cooldown is very long, but when it does go off in fights, it's going to be game-changing. And the last item, but certainly not the least, is Amulet of Longevity. We're going to get an incredible amount of health. So let me just clarify something real quick for you guys before we really discuss the Amulet of Longevity pick, which is going to be a little bit on the controversial side. We only have 25% cooldown with this build. So we're not getting the full 40% cooldown. We're 15% short. This is more of a, and obviously because we don't have Soul Reaver, we're missing 35% attack speed. This is a much more tanky, much more long-term sustained build, as opposed to the jungle build, which is a lot more damagey. Now, the reason why we go Amulet of Longevity is to give us even more tankiness with 1700 max HP. We're getting the extra HP, of course, with the it increased your max HP by 10%. But what we're really looking for from this item is, I will say the 100 HP per 5 seconds is also nice for sustain, so you don't have to come in as often. But the passive Golden, I'm Golden, is really good. It increases healing taken by 20%, and I can confirm that it doesn't indeed work with lifesteal from Lu Bu's ultimate. So it's going to give us 20% more lifesteal from his ultimate, which is muy bueno. And then he's going to be a boss. So not only is he going to be tanky, but he's going to be healing himself even more than he does already, which is insane. And then, of course, the shield kicks in. I mean, you could easily drop to 20% health and be full within the blink of an eye before that shield expires. And the damage is real. It's just not as substantial as it is with the jungle build. This is much more of a off-tank build. Much more of a tanky off-tank build, whereas the jungle build is much more of kind of an assassin-y off-tank build. But these are the two builds, guys, and because you guys have been requesting for us to do Arcana along with the basic, the item build, I'm going to throw Arcana into here on this one. I'm going to try to start doing that in the future. So let's go ahead and go to Arcana, and I'll give you guys a guide for what Arcana to choose on this build. So we're going to start with the red. And red is going to be easy. We're going to do onslaught, attack damage, and armor pierce. Armor pierce is very critical on someone like Lu Bu because all of his abilities that do a good amount of damage is going to, be benefited by this. We're also getting attack damage because attack damage doesn't just benefit his damage, it's also going to make the lifesteal on him better. Then we're going to go to purple, and this one is also very simple for me. And we're not going to go to Reeve to get more life, so we're actually going to go to Assassinate. I like the ability to have more attack damage, and then of course movement speed for somebody like Lu Bu, who's a very solid roamer. Is going to be really good split pusher, good roamer. So good on the Assassinate. And then we're going to be going to the greens, and it's a no questions asked skewer. Attack damage and armor pierce again. Now we're going to be getting a good amount of armor pierce with our combination of these Arcana along with Spirit Longinus. We're going to be having some really solid armor pierce so that Lu Bu can do the max amount of damage on both these builds. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the Lu Bu how to build video with Arcanas included. We gave you guys a jungle damage build and more of an in-lane, more of a tankier build. But guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, until next time.